my name is Jason Bradford with Sustainable Microfarms, and I'm here to talk to you today about microgreens. Why would we want to eat them? Why would we want to grow them? But first, I have something of a message from Juan Battle, and it comes in the form of a question. The question is, how do you turn soup into gold? That's right. How do you turn soup into gold? You add 24 carrots. Sorry, bad joke. Anyhow, here we go. Microgreens. Microgreens, what are they? Well, microgreens are a plant that you eat, and they are the growth stage of a plant. First, you start with a seed, little bitty tiny thing. We're going to pick on broccoli a lot today. So you start with this broccoli seed, pretty small thing. Well, once you've got this broccoli seed and you plant it, it grows. And it grows first into a sprout, about like this. And from a sprout, it grows into the cotyledon or the true leaf stage, which is a microgreen, usually about this tall, 3-4 inches, sometimes more. The reason you want to eat broccoli in a microgreen stage, or any other microgreen for that matter, is because of the nutritional value and the flavor, also the speed of growth. We're going to start with the speed of growth. Now, it grows very rapidly. It could grow anywhere from 7 days to 21 days, with an average of about 7 to 14 days. And I find that even the 7-day grows, I like them to go about 10 days because they get a little taller, a little fuller, and have a little more robust flavor. This is a mixture of arugula and Rambo radish. This is what we use in our smoothie every day, as you can see where I've been trimming. This is fennel. Then we also have Ben, my dog's favorite. This is a mixture of broccoli and kohlrabi. Then we have dill. This is red Reuben basil, lemon mint, cilantro. This is nasturtium. It's a microgreen version of the flower. It is very, very peppery. A fresher fennel, more currently grown. And then we have leeks. These leeks are really oniony. The nutritional impact has not changed that much. But speaking of nutrition, according to a University of Maryland study, microgreens contain from 4 to 40 times the nutritional value of their adult counterparts. In this case, the broccoli is 40 times the nutritional value of its adult counterpart. So we eat them for good health and we eat them for flavor. They have a robust flavor. Everything is intensified. It's a magnified flavor. It could be anywhere. I don't even know how many times. I've not read any studies on that, and I don't want to try to venture a guess, but it has a much more robust flavor, and it tastes just like, in this case, broccoli. We have a more robust flavor, we have a higher nutritional content, and it grows fast. It's also a sustainable product. The way I grow it, which is an indoor hydroponic vertical system, it uses a much smaller footprint. Factory farming has brought us to the point to where we take one crop and we grow it for multiple acres, and we strip the land of everything, and we invite pests, and we invite the need for additional nutrition to amend the soil with. This is not the case with microgreens. I mean, you could use pesticides, you could use fertilizers, you could use all of that if you wanted to. It's not necessary, especially if it's an indoor grow, because with an indoor grow, there's no pests there. And the fact that it's not a monocrop, you grow multiple crops. For instance, in my case, I can grow up to 14. What happens is you don't have that one bug that loves to eat carrots attack and come in and eat all your carrots, so that you have to add more pesticide, and then you have to add herbicide, and you get all these things set into motion that cause for a greater decay of the environment. Not with microgreens, especially if they're grown vertically, indoor, hydroponically with LEDs, which is the way I grow them. Very fast, they use a small footprint, and you get a huge amount of food in a small amount of area. If you think about a whole broccoli plant, that whole thing, all the nutrition that's tied up in not just the head of broccoli, but all the leaves and the stalk and everything, all of that is contained in that seed. It's all there. All the growth that it's ever going to need, all the growth potential, all the energy it needs to grow into a microgreen is all contained in that seed. Now, beyond that, you may have to amend the soil or the water or whatever you're growing in. Or it may even require soil or amended water, as the case may be. So you've now got all of this into one little microgreen. Now, what happens if you eat a clump of those? It's like eating a field of broccoli. So, while we're picking on broccoli, let's talk about the highly coveted sulforaphane that's involved in it. Many people say that broccoli sprouts are the better way to enjoy the bioavailability of the broccoli microgreen, and that's probably true. I eat the sprouts. I freeze them and eat them every day in a smoothie in the morning. We also add a blend of microgreens, which are arugula and Rambo radish. We put those in our smoothie every day. The flavor is divine, but I mean, it's really good for you too. So we get quite a bit of nutritional impact just from that, and a whole lot of flavor. We grew it ourselves, and it did not take very long to grow. At Sustainable Microfarms, we sell to farmers markets, we sell to restaurants. We have a subscription basis where I will make free deliveries to them, to their homes. I'm not going to deliver all the way to Ohio, but locally. So if you really consider the outlet for that, it has a broad avenue. Not as much as bibs of lettuce, that's for sure, because most people don't know why they would want to eat a microgreen. In fact, if they go into a restaurant and they order a dish that has microgreens on it, they usually just push them to the side, thinking it's only a garnish. It's just there to look pretty and cool. And it does, but it tastes great, and it's so good for you. So, next time you go to a nice restaurant and they put microgreens on your plate, be sure to eat them, because they're really good for you. And the other nice thing about it is they're locally grown. It does no good to ship something in and give it a footprint like that, which has an environmental impact by being trucked in from some other city or some other state. It's local because it only has about a 1 to 2 week shelf life in the refrigerator. After that, it's just good for your compost pile or your rabbits or chickens or whatever you want to feed it to. So, the whole idea behind microgreens is we have a more sustainable vegetable that's supercharged with minerals and vitamins and other nutritional products. And it has great flavor. Easy to eat. You can just go grab a couple, snap them off the tray. I grow them in 10 by 20 trays. And in that, it's like growing a whole farm full of broccoli, or whatever the case may be. I find that the LED lights that I use, which are 2 per shelf on a 4-tray shelf, giving you a total of 24 trays, that amount of electricity, just for that, is 9 cents a day with Duke Energy at current rates. So, it's also very inexpensive to grow. This is a short demonstration on how to prepare trays to grow microgreens. We'll be using 10 by 20 trays today. These are hemp pads that have been cut 5 inches by 5 inches, 8 of them for 1 tray. This is a 10 by 20 pad that's cut for a tray also. I'll get into the reasoning why later. So we want to submerge these pads down into the water. This is some water that's been run through a reverse osmosis filter. Set this aside. I've got a tray here that's slotted and 2 trays that are not. I like them saturated, but I don't like them super wet. So I'm going to spread these out to fill in the tray. You can add a little hydrogen peroxide to it if you feel like you may have mold or mildew issues. It'll help retard that. This is the 10 by 20 pad. Doing the same thing to it, soaking it down real well. These pads are made from 100% hemp fiber. It's a refuse product from processing hemp. There are a number of different grow mediums you can use. This particular one is my grow medium of choice. I've tried others. I try to stay with natural, sustainable products. I've used a few that are not, and find that really they don't work any better. Hemp, for my particular purposes, seems to work best for me. I buy it in rolls from Amazon. It tends to stretch out a bit once it's been wet. Set this water aside. Okay, we're going to start with the 5x5s. I prefer to use a scale because I like a lot of accuracy, although it's not necessary. This particular scale will zero out for the weight of the cup. And this is going to be for my Rambo radish and arugula mix or blend that I do. This is for our smoothies. The reason I cut these into 5x5 squares is because we use one 5x5 each morning in our smoothie. So an ounce equates to 28 grams, and I've got my scale set for grams here. So that's 14 grams. In this case, I'm pouring in the Rambo radish until I get to 14 grams. I'm a little overboard at 16, which probably wouldn't make much difference. 2 grams I could make up for that difference with the Rambo radish, but we're not going to go there. We'll keep it even. That's 14 grams of the Rambo radish. Now to carefully bring it up to 28 grams, since I am blending them in the cup. A little easier to control my pour this way. That puts us at 28 grams. And the key to spreading the seed is to try to get it as evenly as possible. I like to use an old spice shaker that's been cleaned. It just makes it easier to spread because of the holes in the top. So I like to make a perimeter spread first. Lost a few seeds. I'll get them later. Set this aside for the moment. We're going to move on to the next operation here. We're going to use kohlrabi and broccoli. This is for our dog. Kohlrabi and broccoli. same measurement, 28 grams total, 1 ounce, 14 grams of each. We are at exactly 14 grams here. That was the kohlrabi. Now we're going to add the broccoli. Another 14 grams to bring it up to 28. We are at 28 grams now, 1 ounce. Now we keep his in a 10 by 20 because we just trim what we give him every day, right off the plants. This is a pump sprayer. You can buy them at your local gardening store or home store. I paid $5 for this one. Works great. Saturate the seeds. This way they'll get a better germination. This is where the third tray comes in. Saturate the top so that it acts as a humidity dome. Cover it. And this will stay covered for 3 days. During that 3 days, you can add a little more water to it as needed, once, maybe twice a day. I usually check it in the morning and the evening. If it feels like it's drying out, then I'll add a little more moisture to it. After that, it's going to grow for an additional 7 days, and I will add bottom watering to this process. So what's going to happen is each day, lift up the slotted tray and add a cup of water to the bottom in the morning and the evening. You don't need to do top watering, just bottom watering, so it goes directly to the roots. In 10 days, you'll have delicious broccoli and kohlrabi, or arugula and Rambo radish. Being grown hydroponically, it uses 90% less water than that of conventionally grown vegetables. Hydroponics is a great way to go because as the earth is filling up with people, we're running out of space to grow food. Plain and simple. We cannot keep up with the demand. That's why factory farming has become such a big deal, but it doesn't have to be that way. We can grow smarter and not have to worry about the idea of having our food made by somebody else when it's so easy to make ourselves, or at least from our friends. That's the whole point of the Sustainable Urban Agriculture Coalition. Number one, to be sustainable. We want to grow in an environment that produces less of an impact on the physical environment. Urban, we grow it right here in the city. You can grow it in the country too. It makes no difference. You can grow it indoors like I do. You can grow it in greenhouses. You can grow it in soil. You can grow it right in the ground if you want, above ground or in ground level. Agriculture, well, we know what that is. That's the vegetables. That's the things we want to eat. That's what we're growing. Coalition, that's because we all join together. We come together as a coalition with one purpose in mind. We have a unity. And so that's the whole point behind SUAC. Well, This is my whole idea of why we want to grow microgreens, why microgreens are a good thing, and how to make a positive impact in the environment without having to labor and toil for many hours in the soil, which is fun too, don't get me wrong. It has its place as well, and it's good to get back to the earth and to feel your fingers in the soil. But it's also good to be smart about how we grow and to be environmentally conscious and to be concerned with our health as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you today about growing, eating, and harvesting microgreens.